thank you so much to Zelda for inviting me today to talk on this conference about self-love. Now, one of the things that I am really, really passionate about is how women can fall madly, deeply in love with themselves. Now, we spend so much time talking about how to fall in love with the right partner, how to fall in love with your job, fall in love with your life. But one thing that I feel is missing from this narrative is how to fall in love with ourselves. And the reason why I think it's so important for women, especially, to learn how to fall in love with ourselves is because if you think about the ripple effect that falling in love with yourself will have around the world. So I want to start by just discussing what it looks like when we are really, truly, deeply in love with ourselves. Then I want to talk about what changes that will make in the world. Then I'm going to give you tips on how you can really start working on how to fall in love with yourself. So the first one is, why is it important for women to fall in love with themselves? And the reason and what it looks like. When you are truly, truly in love with yourself and you have that inner core belief that you are enough, that you are worthy, that you are deserving, that for me is what true falling in love with yourself is. There's a sense of, there's a warmness that you feel when you think about yourself, that when you look in the mirror, you see somebody that you respect, that you honor, that you deal with and speak to with integrity. And that's one way that you can fall in love with them. The other thing of falling in love with yourself is that you nourish yourself. You nourish yourself from the inside. So you feed your body well, you look after your body, you move your body. You don't abuse your own body. The way you talk about your body, it comes from a place of nourishment. But you also nourish your soul. You really look at, like, what is it that you truly deeply desire? What is it that you want to do? What is it that your soul wants to do? Is it that it really wants to get out of the corporate world? Is it that, yes, you're a mother, but there's other things that you want to do? Is it that you want to be in a relationship? What is your soul saying? And so you nourish yourself by listening to your desires, by honoring what you're saying to yourself, instead of having an idea and think, well, that's too hard, I'm not going to be able to do that. It's really nourishing yourself from the inside, but it's also nourishing your environment. If you want to have some really nice sheets that you sleep in at night, you would make that investment. If it's important to you to have nice nails, you make that investment in yourself. If it's really important for you to wear a certain type of clothes, that's the investment. So you nourish your environment. So you're nourishing yourself from the inside. You're nourishing yourself with the environment that you're in. The other thing about really falling in love with yourself and the way that it looks is that you have clear boundaries. You are able and willing and totally comfortable with setting boundaries with yourself. So the way it looks when you're setting boundaries with yourself, you don't accept yourself to put yourself down. How many times does someone come up to you and say, oh, I really like your dress? And our response is, oh, it was in the sale. Why do we do that? How many times does someone congratulate you on something? Oh, that old thing, that's fine. You got a promotion. Oh, well, I was due a promotion anyway. No, you worked hard for it. So it's having those boundaries with yourself that you don't allow yourself to put yourself down. That when someone gives you a compliment, you say, thank you. I really love your dress. Oh, thank you. I really love this color on me. Thank you. This dress makes me feel incredible. I feel really sexy when I wear it. I feel really strong when I wear it. I feel really calm when I wear it. So watch what boundaries do you have with yourself? Do you make yourself overworked? Do you make yourself work so hard that you suffer from burnout? That's having no boundaries with yourself, that you're not having boundaries with your time to yourself. How much time are you spending not doing what you want to do? How much time are you spending relaxing, recharging yourself? That's the boundaries with yourself. And then boundaries with others. How often do you say yes when you mean no? Now, if you truly, truly honored and put your desires first, and I don't mean being selfish, I mean like, being really authentic, that when someone asks you to do something, you only say yes when you want to do it. Because what happens is if we have low self-worth, and having pure love for ourselves is when we value ourselves and we have high self-worth. If you have low self-worth and someone asks you to do something, you're going to say yes because you want that person to like you, because you don't like yourself. But if you love yourself and you see yourself as whole and complete, exactly the way you are, then if someone asks you to do something, but it's going to make you tired, you're going to lose money because of it, you're going to have to really take yourself somewhere where you don't want to go, whatever it is, and you say yes, you're saying that because you want them to like you. But if you love yourself, honor yourself, respect yourself, have integrity for yourself, for your rest, then if someone asks you to do something and you can't do it because it will be out of alignment with everything that you need to do for yourself, and you say no, and you will say no in a kind way. You will say no from a place of compassion for yourself, but also compassion for others. I'm so sorry, but I can't do that at the moment. Maybe another day, maybe when things are easier, maybe I can help you find someone. And when you say no, that means you are being authentic. You're showing up authentically. But what I can see happen sometimes with women is that they have low self-worth. They're not happy to say no. They say yes, and then they spend the rest of the time resenting that they've said yes. They've said yes to babysit their friend's child. They've said yes to the boss who wants them to stay late to get this thing done. They say yes. And you're acting inauthentically, and then we end up having resentment, have that anger inside our bodies. So this is what it looks like when you fall in love with yourself. You honor yourself. You honor all the different parts of yourself. You have boundaries, clear boundaries with yourself, with others. Now, why is it important? Why is it important for us to fall in love with ourselves, to be in love with ourselves, not just to fall, but to actively be in love with ourselves? Because I truly, truly believe, and this is something I am so passionate about, that when women collectively are in love with themselves and they embody all of these qualities that I'm talking about, having boundaries, being able to nourish themselves, coming from a place of integrity, having respect for ourselves, showing up authentically, then what happens is that we are able to empower others. Women empowerment starts with loving ourselves. And this is something I am so, so passionate about. So if a woman doesn't feel good about herself and she sees another woman who she assumes is better than her because she's got low self-worth, what emotions come up? Jealousy, anger. Why has she got it and I haven't got it? And women can put each other down. And I really believe that comes from jealousy. And where does jealousy come from? From envy, from thinking, I want that, I should have it. When I see someone who's strong and more successful than me and all of these things, I look at them with pride and think, wow, that woman's showing me what I can have. Because for me, I look at them with a sense of admiration. Jealousy isn't something that I generally, the emotion that I feel with. And if I do feel it, I think, oh, okay, let me reframe that. They are my expander. They're expanding me. They're showing me what's possible. They're showing me what I want, because that's something for me to work towards. So falling in love with yourself really is where women empowerment starts. It's where women can start supporting each other, but we've got to do it ourselves. We have to fill our cup. Because when our cup is full, We can lovingly give love without expecting anything in return. We can lovingly give compliments without expecting anything in return. And when our cup is full, we can fill each other's cups without taking energy from each other, without putting each other down. So this is something I am really passionate about, and it's something that I've been doing for a long time in terms of really encouraging women to how it is to fall in love with themselves. So I'm just going to give you a couple of tips now as how can you fall in love with yourself. Watch how you speak to yourself. Really watch the words when you look in the mirror. What is it you're saying to yourself? Are you being kind? Are you empowering yourself? My biggest tip is talk to yourself as if you're talking to your best friend. That's one way. Another way is learn to say no, and say it with pride. Say it with a sense of that I'm saying no because I'm looking after myself. By you saying no, you're not taking anything from anyone, but you are giving so much to yourself. Saying no is one of the most magnetic things women can do when you want to say no. If you can do it and you can help, go ahead. I'm not saying say no for the sake of saying no. Say no when something doesn't feel aligned to your energy, to your time, to your boundaries. If you doesn't feel aligned, say no. So change the way you talk to yourself, learn to say no. And the other thing that I would say, which is really important to do when you're learning to fall in love with yourself, is to future pace. Okay. So say, for example, I want you to think of where you would be in a year's time and think of all the things that you want to achieve that you've already achieved it. What are the sets of belief that you need from that future self? I need to believe that anything is possible, that I can do it, that I'm strong, that I'm deserving, that I'm enough. And write those beliefs down. If you future pace, your future has so much gifts to give you. So if anyone wants any help on how to raise their self-love, feel free to contact me. I'm sure my details will be around. But just, I'm so passionate about this. And just have a think, notice, am I treating myself the way I would treat others? Am I speaking to myself the way I would my children? If not, why not? And it can be changed. It doesn't have to be like this. So thank you so much for listening, and thank you for giving me the space to speak, and have a lovely day.